The paint brands I use are Windsor Newton Professional Quality and Daniel Smith. Cotman is also a brand I would recommend that's a bit more affordable than the other two. I prefer tube paint as it gives me flexibility to change colors, lasts a good while, and it's not as dried out as the blocks or pans of paint. When using tubes of paint, you can add them to a palette like I have. The one I have is a plastic palette I've had for about 10 years. When using a new palette, it's a good idea to rub down the mixing areas with a little toothpaste before you use it. An alternative idea is to let your paint mix dry and leave it overnight, and then wash it off with a little water the next day. When a palette is new, the plastic repels the water paint mixture and can cause it to ball up. It's not a big deal, but some people find it annoying, so this helps get your palette paint ready. To add the paint, I point the tube into the 4 corners of the tray, and then use a toothpick to help get the air bubbles out and spread the paint out. Don't be afraid to fill the wells completely. I would recommend adding the paint to your palette at least the night before you start painting, so it has time to harden and dry out. You can use it straight away. However, it's easier to end up grabbing more paint than you need as it sticks to your brush and can create a lot of waste. Or you'll end up painting really thick, like gouache. I've narrowed my palette down to the 8 colors I use the most. That includes alizarin crimson, cadmium red, quinacridone magenta, quinacridone gold, cadmium lemon, cadmium yellow pale, cobalt blue, and French ultramarine. I do have lots of other colors on my palette. However, these are the ones I use the most, and didn't want to make you get loads and loads of paint. I can mix a large range of colors with just these 8 colors, from a gorgeous dark gray to a very vibrant light green. I almost never paint with black if I can avoid it. Instead, I like to mix my colors, which gives a lot more dimension and interest to your paintings. I recommend spritzing your paint with a spray bottle 10 to 15 minutes before painting, especially if you're using pans or half pans of paint. If you don't have a spray bottle, you can dab the paint with a wet brush. It helps make the paint a bit more fluid and ready to work with. I like to use 2 water dishes. One for dirty water, so you can use this one to clean your brushes between colors, and the other one is clean water, to use when you want to add clean water to your paper for blending and other things. Another essential when painting are paper towels or a super absorbent sponge to dab off water and paint. When you're done painting, I just take a paper towel and wipe off the paint from the mixing area. If your paint has dried, you can use your brush or a spray bottle to wet it and wipe it off with a paper towel. If you want to use your paint again, that's definitely okay. Just leave it in the mixing area, and when you're ready to use it, reactivate it with water.